Alright, so what we have here is a spider lily. Right, it's a very common flower that's found around Singapore. So the P5s right now are learning about pollen grains, so plant reproduction, and I want to show you this one. Alright, so it's a very obvious wind pollinated flower, and you can see the pollen grains, right, the anther and the filament that is hanging out of the flower. Right, so this is the anther. All right, very quite cool, huh? And this is the stigma and the style. Right, it's so small that I can't even focus on it. So that's the stigma and the style. Right, so this is the stigma and the style. These are anther and filament, and the pollen grains will then go from here all the way to here, which will try and then it will pollinate the flower. So after the flowers are pollinated, then they will start to wither away. Right? You can see this one, it's withering away, and you are just left with the stigma. So what happens is that once the pollen grain lands on the tip of the stigma, it will go down the style. All right, it will form a pollen tube and go all the way down the style into the ovaries. So the ovaries should be somewhere, I don't know, for this flower maybe under here. Yeah, maybe inside or here. I'm not sure actually. And then where it will then fuse with the ovules, and from there it will fertilize and then become a fruit. Right? So this is a flower, again, a spider lily. It's a very beautiful flower that has both what do you call that, male and female part. Right? So this is the female part, which is the stigma and the style. Oh, you can actually see this one. Can you see? Alright, that's quite cool. Huh? It is being pollinated and there are pollen grains on it. Okay, so that's the stigma and this is the style. So there's like, this is one plant where they are like nice, I don't know, I think it's quite nice, bright. Do you think this is a brightly colored flower? Just white? I think it's fair. Okay, so I also want to show you this tree. It's a ginormous tree. Alright, it's very old, very large. Let's do a short trek inside. Now, if you see on top, these are the bird nest fern, and there are some creeper plants on the trunk of the tree. So what happens is that you see all these leaves are big and broad, right? Very broad leaves. They're very broad leaves if you can see them. Right? And the reason why they have very broad leaves is because they are stuck underneath the big tree, and they need to have broader leaves in order to trap more sunlight and make more food. Right? That's unfortunately that they're stuck. This is a pretty cool tree. If you look at it, very, very nice long creeper plants. There's this giant bird nest fern that is on top. This is another tree with another giant bird nest fern. If I look up, yeah, it's got a lot of old trees in this estate, so you get a lot of these giant bird nest ferns as well, and a lot of these creeper plants on the trees with very, very broad leaves. Okay, so remember, they have broad leaves because they are underneath the tree. The first cut of the sun is really taken up by the tree itself. Alright, so over here where I'm under the tree is in the shade, not so sunny, so that's why they need to have broader leaves in order to trap more sunlight. Right, so that's how the creeper plants are looking like. So in this video I showed you the spider lilies, alright, with the stigma and style over here. This one, and also the anther and filament over here. All right, and the super broad leaves of the creeper plant, where I give you a nearer look. You can see it's very broad leaves. All right, it's all because it's all under the trunk, and they need to spread out as far as possible to trap as much sunlight as possible, so that they can make as much food as possible and grow bigger and faster. And this is Teacher Kaiden from Math, Magic and Simple Science. I will see you at the next video. Yep.